Hey everybody, it's your pal Drew Geraci, and I wanted to cover a bit of a mystery comic. Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. I got this sent to me in a care package a couple years ago by my pal Chuck Dixon, and I guess he was going through stuff, and he has the collected Nick Fury. And well, sometimes I like to have these, and I'll just put them against the shelf, like put them in backing board, and it's just different, Love that brown and gray. Boy, that always made the foreground colors pop. What happened with Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., this is in 1968 or something, or 69. I'm too lazy to go to the indicia. The Marvel was restricted by DC, who was dealing with the main distributor, and they were hampered by only putting out 10 or 12 titles, and some of them were like Millie the Model and Western comics and like maybe 8 superhero comics. So once in 68 that the ban, or whatever you call it, the restrictions were lifted, then Marvel just started expanding, substantially. And they had all these split titles, which fantastic stuff. You had like Captain America by Kirby, Colin doing Iron Man, and then when split books happened, they went that away, and it turned out Colin didn't want to do Iron Man, and George Tuska took over, and Colin stayed on Daredevil, and he would also do other stuff. Colin was always good at doing like 2 books at once, depending on the month. I'm getting off type. You know what I'm saying. Tales to Astonish was Hulk, Submariner. They went their ways, and then there was Strange Tales, which was this, the Doctor Strange, and Nick Fury lasted for a little while, but only because young, brilliant artist, escape artist, just a little bit of everything, super smart guy, name of Jim Steranko came along, and he reinvented S.H.I.E.L.D. When S.H.I.E.L.D. first came out, it was kind of exciting because Kirby was on it pretty tight in the first few issues, but then he started doing rough layouts, and you'd have all these other people who just couldn't deliver the goods on the finished art, and it was kind of, it's not that great. It's fun, but not that great. And then Steranko came, and what you do is, like if you have a flagging title, you come in and you have full, you're allowed to do whatever the hell you want. So Steranko made Nick Fury super cool in the super cool spy era, gave him some cool togs, made him look a little less old, kind of made him like, Matt Helm, Dean Martin's TV show. Anyway, reason I'm here, in case you want, I got way off base. Frank Springer took over because Steranko did only 1, 2, 3, and 5, and he couldn't do a monthly book, a full book, instead of half a book. Then he did like 3 other covers for the books he hadn't done, and that was it. But Frank Springer took over, and it was pretty good, actually. I was really impressed. But I had seen Frank Springer stuff actually way before Steranko. I love that pose. That's a great pose. Now, here's the deal. That's not the least bit of Frank Springer at all. And that's because it says, when fantastic Frank Springer needed helping hand, the penciling and inking chores, happy Herbie Trimpe was only there, and Jordan Tagalo, blah, 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 and Ernie Hart helped on the script. So I thought, maybe they're going to do, maybe Trimpe will do a page, and for Springer will do another page. But no, there's more to that. But after Steranko left, Frank Springer was a good choice, believe it or not. I mean, he was an assistant to a guy named George Wonder on the comic strip Terry and the Pirates, and Wonder had succeeded the creator Milt Caniff, so Springer was a real deal, and so he stayed there for 5 years or so, did some backgrounds and foregrounds, and he colored the Sunday strips, did a little of everything, and then he decided, then he got opportunity to work at Dell Comics, and if you're below 50 or so, you probably didn't know what a Dell comic was, but they were huge sellers. They would do their own books, but they also licensed a lot of stuff through Gold Key, like TV shows, like The Rifleman and all that, The Big Valley and stuff like that. Well, Springer moved over to DC, actually. He did like Batman 187, Dial H for Hero, our Army at War, RRR. So, he had a good pedigree for something like this. He really did. So, okay, we got the Trimpe there. Here we go. Okay, these 2 pages here, I love the colors. I love the audacious green there. It's just so powerful with just the black inks. So these 2 pages are Frank Springer, no doubt. And this is Frank Springer as well. How many times, man, somebody should come up with a website that captures all this stuff. Listen to me, I'm telling other people what to do. So many friggin' comics, even to like recently, there's always some guy who drinks too much and goes, oh, that car, it was on the road and all of a sudden it flies through the air. That does it. I'll never touch the stuff again. I can't tell you how many comic books that's happened in. And it's like, it's never funnier. I mean, it's never interesting. It's just routine. Well, this is Frank Springer right here. Beautiful layout. Look at the layout, too. The guys at the table. Really strong stuff. And, well, we switch over to this guy, Supremus. All Trimpe. And, get the big old hands. And you could tell the style because the line work is a little more wispy and subtle on Springer's work. So that big old face was by Trimpe, and the rest of the page was Frank Springer. So, he's got a mask on. And he took a cyanide pill. And so that's all Springer there. And this is probably all Springer except for the last 2 panels. Because the last 2 panels sort of have actually that's a Trimpe kind of effect there. So he probably did these panels. And I get the feeling that Archie Goodwin and the fill-in writer worked at cross purposes at some period and they just had to get the book out. So I would say that's Trimpe. And here comes Trimpe with the Monster Mash. Undeniably Trimpe. So, Monster Conga line. So, he faces his monster. So, that's 100% Trimpe. But everything else is Frank Springer. Now, this page, I would say, is pretty much all Trimpe, except that. I don't know. Because, I mean, he wasn't really doing nuanced muscles on the back at the time. I could be wrong. Like I said, this whole book seems like it was cobbled together, but I love the results. I really do. So any of the monster images were no doubt, love that. I think that's all Trimpe. Anytime they have the monsters or the aliens or whatever they are, that's when he steps in. And what's great is Frank Springer and the subsequent writers that worked with him. They kind of followed Stranko's lead as far as, we'll just take this cover off, where they got into, psychedelia and stuff like that, in a white room with black curtains in the station. So this is all. And also, Herb Trimpe was pretty much a new guy. He just, new on the scene. And he came from, when he... what was it? He was in the Army and he was discharged shortly before joining Marvel, and he was still learning the ropes. And Springer had a bigger history, and he also did illustrations for magazines and such. Now, first panel, probably Springer. That panel there with Nick Fury. That is such a wonky. Why would you have your arms all the way back? Unless it's a stretching exercise, but Trimpe was brand new. That middle panel, that's Springer Spaniel. And this page is probably all Springer because look how Supremus looks. He doesn't look as, fluffy and soft like a teddy bear. I like that angle on the gun. Really sweet stuff. Then we get into, there's this little creature inside this Supremus costume. And I think that's it. That looks like a Trimpe explosion. Then we end up with, I would say, Frank Springer. Don't yield, right shield. Now here's the thing. with Herb Trimpe. Let me grab this. You all wait there. Where did it go? Oh, no. Well, let me start off with the Springer stuff. See, the reason I could tell this was in Marvel Holiday Grab Bag that came out in 1976, and this was one of the many chapters. And I didn't know anything about Springer. I mean, about Steranko at the time. So to me, this was my induction into Nick Fury. And look how amazing Frank Springer. He's getting that kind of, out of the box feel. The layouts, all kinds of stuff like that. So great stuff. I love that. He got Sinatra, cocktails. Then of course he gets interrupted on Christmas Eve. But and in that, it's like so many artists over the decades. I'm talking decades, dudes. We're talking like 60 years. A lot of them, most of them, use the one angle of the helicarrier that Kirby drew in the very first issue of Nick Fury's appearance in modern day. And but no, I mean, Springer did some really amazing stuff. So he really added just a rugged style to it. And where's that trade paperback? Everybody, hang on, everybody. Oh, it's right here. Okay. See, here's the thing, though, with Trimpe. Going back to Trimpe. I meant to make this short, but I go on and on and on. Well, this is a great epic collection. Well, Herb Trimpe started off. There was a big thing in Marvel where you start off inking an established penciler, and you learn, and then you go on. Like Marie Severin, she was inked by Herb Trimpe for a while, so he could pick up the nuances. And Dan Adkins, who was an assistant to Wally Wood, he kind of polished up the rough stuff from the New Kid in Town. And what's really weird is Trimpe was going for this closed eye thing on everybody. It's just so weird. It's like so many panels. Well, that one's different because it's got like a psychedelic thing. I don't know how they could do anything with their eyes closed. And neat stuff, though. Really cool. When I used to buy these reprints in Marvel superheroes, I was like, where are his eyes? What's going on? I know he has eyes. So that's how you tell the two. Oh, eyes are open. Well, when he's surprised, that's the case. But for the most part, see, General Ross with his eyes closed. It's just really bizarre. But then, I thought I'd share that with you. I hope you found that interesting. And if you have any comments below, please share them. I don't delete anything. I'm not here for an argument. I'll even click like to something I don't agree with because, hey, we're into comics. And please hit like and subscribe, and please hit the bell for notifications. And if you know somebody else who likes this kind of stuff, please share. And because I've got over 800 subscribers, which is just wonderful, and I'm so grateful to each and every one of you. And that's entertainment. Okay, I better go before I sing anymore. Get out of hand. All right, take care, everybody.